In Geneva public service, AI harness is not enough. Welcome to Tom's Structural Diagnosis. And today we are looking at a shift in enterprise AI that many organizations describe as a technical step. I would read it differently. We are seeing AI move from the model to the work layer above the model. The question is no longer only which LLM are we using? It becomes who may access which data, which tools are connected, which workflows are steered, which evaluations check quality, which audit trails remain, which approvals are built into the process. This operational layer is often called an AI harness. And the harness matters. A raw model is not enterprise-ready working capacity. It becomes useful only when access, tools, context, workflow logic, evaluations, approvals, and audit trails are connected. The harness makes AI workable. But now let us change perspective. Let us not look first from the technology side. Let us look from the Centurio's side. The Centurio is the person in the organization where responsibility actually lands. In Geneva public service, this may be a department head, a service owner, a shared service lead, an operational program manager, or someone who carries escalation, sign-off, or explanation pressure. A service case is rarely simple. It may involve a resident, a patient, a permit, a social benefit, an internal request, a cross-border dependency, a multilingual interaction, or a shared service that supports several entities at once. Many actors contribute. Several systems are involved. Legal, operational, and reputational consequences sit close to the work. And the person who has to explain the outcome is not always the person who designed the system. This is where the first Centurio sentence appears. I have to approve it, but it is not structurally covered. So that sounds like personal decision pressure. But structurally, it is often mandate under coverage. The AI contribution is already real. The workflow has been accelerated. The recommendation is visible. The case is moving. But mandate, service definition, liability, and stop authority have not grown at the same speed. A harness can define whether an AI agent may read, write, prioritize, recommend, or escalate. But in the actual service case, the harder questions begin. Who is allowed to stand behind the recommendation? Who explains it to the citizen, patient, employee, auditor, or political sponsor? Who can stop the process in the boundary case? Who is accountable when an AI contribution becomes a real operational effect? This is not an abstract governance issue. It is the mandate service liability node in the moment of use. Mandate asks who is allowed to decide, approve, stop, or escalate. Service asks which service is being delivered for whom, on which service object, with which intended effect. Liability asks who is accountable for impact, reasoning, and auditability. Judgment asks under which conditions sound case-bound judgment emerges in the concrete situation. The harness controls the AI contribution. Organizational AI checks whether this contribution is responsibly embedded in mandate, service, liability, and judgment. That is the first distinction. Harness makes AI workable. Organizational AI makes AI impact accountable. Now, the second Centurio sentence, formally it works. In reality, we hold it together through special solutions. In public service and shared service organizations, this sentence matters. It points to the service flow. Officially, the process may exist, the workflow may be documented, the tool may be approved, the dashboard may look clean, but in the real service moment, people compensate. They use side files. They create informal checks. They call someone who knows the exception. They override the routing. They validate the AI output manually. They build small local workarounds because the formal service flow does not carry the real case. This is not automatically disloyal behavior. It is often a structural signal. The official service design no longer carries the actual service moment. And when AI is added to this environment, the gap does not disappear. It may become faster, more visible, and more difficult to deny. This is especially relevant for shared services. Shared services standardize, consolidate, and professionalize delivery. Under AI, they may also automate triage, documentation, prioritization, and routing. That can create real value. But it also raises a sharp question. Does the shared service unit only provide a contribution, or does it start shaping decisions that someone else must later explain? If that is unclear, responsibility migrates silently. It lands with the service owner, it lands with the department head, it lands with the person who signs, it lands with the person who faces the escalation. The third centurio sentence is therefore, the AI helps, but my risk does not go down. This is where AI visibility becomes concrete. AI increases speed, pre-structuring, and visibility. It creates more traces, more outputs, more comparisons, more documented recommendations. But if mandate, liability, and judgment do not grow with it, visibility does not produce relief. It produces exposure. The organization may call it efficiency. The centurio experiences evidentiary burden, more checking, more justification, more defensive work, more reputational risk, more dependency on external working logic, more responsibility for effects that were shaped upstream. An audit trail shows what happened. It does not replace a mandate order. An evaluation checks quality. It does not clarify who may decide in the boundary case. Access control limits usage. It does not answer which service is being changed. This is why the next viable step is not automatically another AI tool, another governance document, or another harness layer. And it is not to stop AI out of fear. The next step is a sober structural diagnosis of one concrete service case. Take a real case, a permit request, a citizen inquiry, a patient-related administrative process, an HR or finance shared service case, a procurement clarification, or a cross-entity escalation. Then ask, where does the AI contribution act? Which decision does it prepare? Which service is being changed? Who may represent the outcome? Who can justify it? Who can stop it? Who carries liability when contribution becomes impact? If these questions are not clearly answerable, the problem is not primarily the AI tool. The mandate situation is not yet sufficiently readable. And that is the point for Geneva-based public service and shared service organizations. AI harness is not wrong, it is necessary. But it is not sufficient. It makes AI workable. It does not automatically make AI impact accountable. The scarce resource will not be instruction. The scarce resource will be the responsible embedding of AI contributions into mandate, service, liability, and judgment. That was not a tool question. That was a structure question. This is Tom from Ali Voicesburg. See you soon.